Welcome back to AFTV, everyone. If you're looking for a preview, we're going to tell you about Wolves' last 5 games and how they play and the form they're in and what Arsenal need to do to win. None of that. No. We're 3 games without a win. I'm not having that conversation. I'm not. Wolves are a good side. They deserve their respect. You want to learn about them? Go watch Box to Box. Turkish, you're doing Box to Box, right?
Yep.
There'll be a Box to Box out. You go watch that. And you're going to get everything you need to know about Wolves. We've got to talk about Arsenal. We need to talk about the potential. And by the way, this isn't me saying I've lost hope. I've not lost hope. But we've got to discuss the potential of Arsenal repeating what they've done in the previous years, get it to a point of the season, and then seeing the wheels fall off. We can't allow that, people. And we need to discuss in this video now why we think that might be, how we avoid it, what Arteta needs to do to ensure we get 3 points. Because whatever people think, we have the chance to go 4 points ahead of City. Cool, they'll have games in hand. We have the chance to go 4 points ahead of them before they kick a ball again in the Premier League. They've just had the disappointment of the Champions League. Liverpool have 3 away games in a row. We are gutted, but the players can't slip. They can't slip anymore.
One more slip is done.
Yeah.
The word slip is, what's the term they use? It's not up for debate. It's non-optional. We've got to bounce back. And I just hope, we were talking off air just before we started the show, guys, about Arteta's comments, post-match comments, which personally very much disappointed me. I don't know how you can come out and say he was proud of that performance, because he must be just doing it to protect the players. And I understand that to a degree, but come on, bro. You can't be proud of what happened yesterday. That was a very poor night. That being said, the one smidgen of positivity that you can take from that defeat last night is that now all our focus should be on winning these next 6 games, starting with Wolves. A Wolves team which, by the way, I checked before I come on it, they've not had a win in their last 5.
Yeah.
So, let's go.
There we go, a little bit on Wolves there. So Laurie has come prepared. No, look, because I talk about football generally on my podcast anyway, I'm not unaware of Wolves' form. They have been quite hit and miss. I think since that FA Cup exit to Coventry, funnily enough, we're playing their semi-final this weekend. Same weekend City are playing their semi-final. Wolves have been a bit hit and miss. So there is a potentially vulnerable side, despite Molineux being a difficult place to go. We acknowledge all that. But again, Turkish, just on Arsenal, fans don't want to hear this. It's not the realness talking here from what I'm about to say. But with adversity, you've got to just channel whatever positive you can out of them to try and get those next 6 wins. Like, we as fans can be dejected, but the players can't lie down and take this. They just can't. And they need to be fueling. You know what? We could have been 2-0 up against Bayern. You know what? Could have been 3-0 up at half-time against Villa. You know what? First half away at Bayern was all right. Now, that's not excusing what's happened, but I'm saying they've got to use those surely. Or you do the opposite. Or you use the disappointment as fuel to be like, F this, we can't do it again.
That's what I'd probably lean to. Use the disappointment, use the negativity as fuel.
Yeah, fine, yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of positivity has got the team to where it is. Mm-hmm. In the business end of the season, crunch time, you know, this builds character. Losing out on title races builds character. Fighting with a team like Man City and now with Liverpool builds character. You've got to use this as fuel, otherwise you're not built for this stage.
Yeah. That's exactly what I would do. Big. Well said. I would be getting paper clippings, and that's an old cliche, or whatever on the screen, and I'll be saying, this is what these people out there are saying about you, that you're bottled. Look at this, you're bottle jobs, you ain't got it, you're spewing it, deja vu. Is this how you guys want to be remembered? Because I know you're better than that. And they are better than that. Mm-hmm. For the most part, they played really well this season. Okay, we had a few adverse results, but it's not the end of the season by any means. Yes, we're out the Champions League, but there's still everything to play for in the league. I mean, me personally, I said it to you a little while ago, Turkish, I always thought that our best chance for success this season would come in the league, and it's still on. Because I do believe that City will drop points. I do believe Liverpool will drop. We may even drop another point before the end of the season. But what we've got to do now is be very positive. We've got 6 games left, starting with Wolves. Go get it. That's what I'll be telling them.
Seeing it a similar way, Turkish?
Yeah, I'm not as optimistic about it. but it's not over.
No, but that's the attitude you got to have, right? I'll be saying to the players, look what these men are saying about you.
Yeah, that in that sense, yeah.
That's what I'll be saying. That would be my motivation.
What is it, guys? What are we missing, right? Is it a young group and an experienced manager who haven't done it before and so they're feeling the pressure? I mean, when it comes... I remember something Jack Grealish said, right? It was when they were 2-0 down to Villa on the final day, City, and they won it, winning 3-2, and Grealish didn't come on. I don't think he did anyway, but I remember him saying, like, he wished he was on the pitch, because when you're not, you can't influence anything. And that's one person's sort of recital of it, but that's kind of been true of players that have had off-field struggles and they come on the pitch and they play their football. I'll say all this to say, like, when they're on the pitch, you surely go back into a rhythm. I've never played high-level sport. I remember playing one game in front of a crowd of 200 and I nearly, shit the bed. Like, it's, I get there's added pressure. I understand all that, but...
I think the quality issue needs to be brought up now as well.
So this is what I'm leaning towards. Are we talking experience here? Are we talking tiredness? Are we talking quality? What is it that for the third season in a row, it seems, albeit only one defeat in the league, it seems we seem to lose our way at this point?
I think, honestly, when we look at our attack in particular, we haven't got a scary attacker. We haven't got an attacker that an opposition might look at and say, you know what, we're going to have a difficult time dealing with him. I think we all hoped that would have been Saka or Martinelli. But over time, I think, they're still young and they can still be that. Yeah. But over time, we've seen that it's quite easy to nullify them, especially in this system.
Yeah.
Last year early on, it was a bit more off the cuff. It was a bit more freedom to express, and we probably saw the best of them in an attacking sense. But now rigid, and listen, we're in another title race. But I just think you look at all top clubs, all the top clubs that we expect to be fighting with, they all have scary attackers. City, they have scary attackers.
Match winners.
You could call it that. Liverpool, they've got that. In Salah, I'd even say Jota's quite scary in his own way. People might argue Núñez, but I think I'll probably say Núñez, not so much. I'm talking about, real problems. Then you look at Real Madrid or Bayern Munich even. They've got an elite attacker, and Sane showed that against us. Sane showed that against us in both legs, with the most recent example. So I think we do need someone in attack. We need someone that comes in and he's the one we expect from.
But with respect, you're not going to get that from now till the end of the season.
Yeah, we're not. But
I think it's a mental thing. I really do. And when I say that, I'm not saying that the guys are bottling it. Not yet. I'm just saying that if you look at the game against Villa and the game against Bayern, the one thing that is consistent for both of those games is that the performance tailed off in the second half quite significantly in both games. I mean, take Bayern, for example. I think we had something like 3 shots in the second half in its entirety. Only one of those was on target. That is simply not good enough. Look at the Villa game. First half, we started really well, easily the better team. Should have put the game to bed, didn't. In the second half, tailed off. We're being told that the players are tired. And I can accept that. Look, it's been a long season. It's been a long season for everyone.
I can't accept that.
But let me land. What I would say, though, I do detect mental tiredness. And sometimes mental tiredness can be just as bad as physical tiredness.
So this debate gets interesting. I think they are tired too, but I also don't accept it as an excuse. So what do you think they're not tired and that it's something else? Or do you think they are, but that's not good enough? Turkish.
I think tired is one of those things that, remember earlier in the season, this is completely off topic, but I remember earlier in the season, people used to say Havertz lacks confidence. And I used to say, how do you quantify confidence?
Sure, yeah.
How do we as fans quantify tiredness? Is it because someone's limping after 70 minutes or looks like he's carrying something but potentially not?
Yeah. Or the team slows down and run out of ideas.
Yeah, for me, the footballers are fitter than they ever was. And the amount of games in a season hasn't increased by that much at all in 20 years. A handful of games at most, but the fitness levels have gone up tenfold. So as much as, playing 2 games a week it's not easy. They're elite level athletes. And for me, it's an easy excuse that can be given that can't really be argued because there's nothing to quantify it. There's nothing to prove one way or another that they are tired.
Well, that's why I'm bringing in the mental tiredness, because I think that sometimes, certainly in sports, if you're not in your best run of form, other things can quickly become an issue. Like, we didn't score in those first halves. The pressure starts to weigh heavy. When someone should have been a little bit more alert, made that run, maybe they didn't, you know what I mean? It's just little things like that.
Yeah, I think they're tired, and that's not an excuse for them, or let's say for the club. Maybe it is for the players. I think Arteta's squad management's been poor. We did a whole section of this on Tactical Insight. Go check it out if you want. But I think I saw a tweet that 6 players, I think, have played 40 or more games for Arsenal this season. Man City, not one. Not one player has played 40 or more games this season for Man City. Do you remember that graphic I showed you from Tactical Insight? You look at the minutes played by, well, we know that Saka's played an insane amount of minutes along with Declan Rice, Odegaard, all the others. But it's also how little he's taken off. Saka, I think, 50% and Havertz with 42%. That is the percentage, that's the amount of times when they start, they're then taken off. Jesus, Trossard and Martinelli not only start significantly less games than them, but they're also taken off a lot more. I think Arteta, this isn't the time for that show, but we can praise a lot of things Arteta's done. I want him next season. I want him to get another 200 million. I want him to keep building on this. But I think his management of this squad has been poor. We had debates about it with Robbie, about Saka being played when he shouldn't have, about starting our 2 best choice centre-backs away at PSV when it didn't matter. I think his management of the squad has been poor. So I think they look tired now because a lot of them have been overplayed up to this point. I just don't think it's not an excuse for Arteta. It might be for Saka, but it's not for Mikel Arteta for me.
You know what? I'm so glad you brought it up, because squad rotation or lack thereof is something that I've been banging on about for so long, right? And people have come at me in the comments for it, saying I'm having a pop at Arteta. Well, listen, you just said it there. It's facts. Squad rotation has been poor. The other thing that I've been on at Arteta about this season, and again, you can go back and look at a lot of my videos, you will see I've said the same thing, is in-game management. Things like substitutions and stuff like that, all like for like, always late, same players. There's guys in this squad, so for example, Fabio Vieira, where's he gone, bro? Smith Rowe.
And he's looked all right, may I say, Vieira. He's looked all right when he's played.
I mean, Partey, we had this long-going issue about his fitness. As far as I've been made to aware, he's been fit now for weeks. He's hardly played.
For about 2 months. I think the Sheffield United game was February, wasn't it? Or beginning of March. He's been fit a while.
So why are these guys not playing? Your friend of mine, Eddie, coming on for 5 minutes at the end of games. I mean, come on, bro. That's not being fair to him. And when I say that, I mean, Arteta was the man that gave this guy a new contract. You bigged him up in the press. You called him a beast, remember? You said, Eddie's a beast in training, but yet you won't play him. Smith Rowe, you said you love him, you love his attitude, blah, blah, blah. He had some injury concerns. He comes back. He has 1 game. I think he got man of the match in that game as well. Next game's gone missing. I'm at a loss to explain it. Maybe you guys could.
You see, Partey comes on against City, and I remember on the watch-along saying, that feels premature, but I do think the game needs him. But he did bring him on for 30, 35 minutes, but doesn't need him for Villa or Bayern. There's something strange about it.
Reece Nelson doesn't make a squad, starts the next game, doesn't make the next squad.
Right. And guys, this isn't just a big bitch sesh, right? We're just trying to illustrate that something isn't right about the management of the squad and the players. And Martinelli's getting a lot of heat online. Saka's getting a lot of heat online. My energy is not really directed at the players that much. I'm not saying they've been good enough. Taking a quick free kick, doesn't matter how tired or fresh you are, in the 95th minute is not a great idea. And they could be doing a lot better, I hear it. And Martinelli maybe should be fresh because he's not played as much. But generally, I feel like the players are getting as close as they can. That comes to quality, but it comes to good management, whatever. So anyway, look, let us know in the comment section below, because we can, smash this topic out for hours.
No, but you made a good point, and I do want to reiterate that point. Arteta's done a lot of good things this season. I personally have given him credit for a lot of the good things he's done. Arsenal are definitely a better team than they were last year. He bought wisely in the market with Declan Rice.
I don't know about that.
Sorry?
I don't know if we're definitely a better team this year than last year.
I think we are on balance.
I think we
obviously
are,
the season's
but I
not
know what
over
you mean.
yet,
It's
and
It's not cut and dry. At one point, it looked like it was cut and dry. But let's not forget, earlier in the season, halfway through, I looked at it and said, we don't look better. Then the new calendar year came about. Things clicked, goals for, goals against, looking great, XG, all of that. But that period, now in hindsight, was about a 10-game period, 8 to 10-game period. You can't say because of that 8 to 10-game period, we're a better team than we was last season, even though that 8 to 10-game period, we were the best team in the league over a 10-game period across any 10-game
Okay, would
period.
you say at the same stage last season to this, we've made significant improvements? Notably, the signing of Declan Rice. I mean, we were a bit unfortunate in the injury to, what's the guy's name?
If bottling it to bigger teams is an improvement, that's what we're doing at the moment.
Well, but listen, maybe I'm being a bit
going at the
premature because the
same way.
season's not done yet. But we had the unfortunate injury to, what's the guy's name?
Timber,
of course. And Declan Rice has been a bit of a revelation.
Xhaka's better than Havertz. And Raya equals Ramsdale.
Yeah, I was going to talk about those two. But yeah.
Well, look, let's build the 11. We're going to do it with the help of the AFTV Plus app. Go download it. Fantastic app, which we're going to see on screen in a second here, where you can join us for Fan Zone. You can get details around the next game. You can vote for your man of the match. Pick your 11. That's what we're going to do. So you can even rate the players. We're going to pick our 11. And like I said, everyone, that's in the comment section below. Like, I've had a real moan about this squad management thing. And I think the reason I feel so passionate about it is you get people telling you to shut up when you're complaining about it in October, and people don't realise, and I'm pretty sure I used this line back in October, I was like, we're not going to feel the effects of it today, as in back in October. We will feel it at the end of the season. Only then we will know if Saka was overplayed, if all these... And so that's why I feel quite passionate about it, that there was a lack of recognition for how much our players were playing and it not really being normal. But okay, we've got Wolves on the weekend. We haven't talked too much about them. Like I said, good side. I think Gary Neville's doing a top job. We'll learn more about them as well on Box to Box. Let's build an 11. I'm actually pretty clear in my mind about the 11 I want to see. But let's build together the 11 that we want to see as a 3. And I imagine we stick with the same goalkeeper.
You know what? I'm gonna advocate slightly differently today. I'm gonna go for wholesale changes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna suggest that Ramsdale gets a look in for this game.
So one vote for Ramsdale. I'm Raya, you?
Raya.
Okay. So Raya. But that's interesting. Why Ramsdale?
Because I think the team needs freshening up. I don't think Raya has been overly impressive, and we still got Ramsdale. We should make him feel part of things. And it's not a slight so much on Raya, but I just think that the time has come in the season when we need to see some new faces. The team needs re-energising. So with that in mind, I'm going to make a number of changes. I don't think the manager's going to go anywhere near the team I'm going to go with, but for me, I want to see some changes. And let's start with a keeper.
Okay, fine. So the back 4, I think right back might be an area you're looking to change, Laurie, then. What would you do right back?
No, I'll probably stick with Ben White for this.
Okay. You, Turkish?
Yeah, Ben White. This is all we've got left.
I'd stick with Ben White. Tempted to move Tommy there to give him a rest, Ben, but we've got 6 games. What are we resting for? We all know he doesn't want to go to the Euros.
Yeah.
That's unfair. He might want to go. But anyway. Big up Ben White. I actually love Ben.
Is it me? But I don't think Tommy Asu had a particularly good game yesterday.
Defended, I think, okay, but he got done on the goal.
He didn't have a particularly good game against Villa either, did he? Again, listen, I'm not trying to scapegoat players. I'm just... If I'm being out of pocket, let me know.
No.
To me, I don't think in either of the games he's come back in so
I don't think he's been fabulous at all. Okay, centre-back, Saliba and Gabriel?
Yep, absolutely. I thought, shout out to those two, by the way. I thought they did a really good job on Harry Kane. He was pretty inconsequential yesterday. It could be argued that his run to the near post drew those two, and that left the space for Kimmich to exploit. And that's how they got the goal. So he played his part in that regard. But other than that, I thought Gabriel and Saliba were pretty much flawless against Harry Kane yesterday. He was the best number 9 in football.
I think they stepped up to it for sure. What would you do at left back, Turkish?
Tommy Asu.
Laurie.
You know what? I know this sounds crazy, but I might be tempted to play Zinchenko because I do think it will see quite a lot of the ball. And I think with as defensively flawed as Zinchenko can sometimes be, I think he offers us a bit more going forward. And obviously, last couple of games, we're not scoring goals. So, you know what? I might be tempted to go Zinchenko.
Is a Neto on that side?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did think about Zinchenko, but I would stick with Tomiyasu.
Yeah, I think I'll go Zini. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we built the midfield now. Ødegaard in there, in his usual spot.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool. We'll stick with the captain, Martin Ødegaard. Now,
Shout out to Martin Ødegaard. He didn't have his best game yesterday, but I think throughout the season he's been phenomenal. In fact, I gave him the name Martin Cardio for the amount of work he does. But yeah,
they're not the cleverest play on words, are they?
It's not, but you know, it just sounds good. Martin Cardio.
Fair enough. What would you do with Declan Rice? I assume we're all starting him. So would you play him as the 6 or give him a bit more license to box?
You know what I'm going to say to that? Because I want Partey to come into that midfield. So wherever Declan Rice is comfortable in that trio, then he goes there. But I'm definitely going to be advocating for Partey. So wherever he fits in best there. Fine.
I think I want Partey.
Yeah, I think the same.
Okay, cool. So we all agree Thomas Partey, and then that means Declan Rice can play in Xhaka's old position. So the front three gets interesting.
It does.
I just want to pitch my front three first, and then see how you guys feel about it. I'm sticking with Martinelli. I think he deserves, bloody hell, I think he deserves a run in this team. And he hasn't had it really all season. He's had maybe 3-4, but injuries and then in and out for Trossard. I'd go Martinelli. I'd play Trossard, false 9. And I'd play Jesus out on the right. I think Saka needs a rest. Desperately needs a rest. The guy is just not at it at the moment. He's trying. I think he did some really good things against Bayern. I think he did some good things against Villa. He gets into dangerous areas. Everyone knows he's a trier as well as being a quality footballer. But I just think he looks injured. And I think we've become a bit predictable on that side. And Jesus has done well on the right before. So I'll go, Jesus, Trossard and Martinelli as my front three. And I think Havertz hasn't done it in the last few games. Certainly as a 9 against Bayern, struggled. I think Trossard is just better as a false 9 than he is out on the wing. And Martinelli deserves a run in the team. So that is my 11.
I'd probably go with that, Probably go with that.
Would you?
I'm not so sure. I don't think Martinelli's looked up to it in the last... In fact, I'm struggling to think of a good game he's had recently. We know he picked up that injury. There seems to be a degree of confusion amongst the fans as to just how bad or whatever the injury was. But whatever the injury was, it's clearly affected him because he's not been at his best for some time now. I wouldn't start him. He would certainly feature in the game against Wolves for me, but I wouldn't start him now. So I'd probably go Trossard
on the left
side. Yeah.
Oh, so what would your front three be?
I think Saka is looking like he needs a rest. He had a poor second half. I mean, the incidents at the end with a quick free kick and then the corner that didn't beat the first man kind of epitomised the game he had. Although he did score in the first leg against Bayern, so you've got to give him credit for that. I might be tempted to look at Reece, He's not played for so long. I mean, we need to see these guys play. Again, if I don't have Saka starting, he will certainly feature. So, yeah.
So what's your front three? Reece Nelson on the right?
Reece Nelson, Jesus and Trossard.
Jesus and then Trossard. So that's your front three. Nelson, Jesus, Trossard. Gosh, it feels such a step away. I mean, that'd be 3 changes to Saka, Martinelli, Havertz, who started him at Bayern. But I do think he's going to have to try something different. I think he needs to freshen up this
like
team.
I said, my thesis behind this is I want to re-energise the team in my mind. I want to bring some guys in that are hoping to come in and make a statement and say, look, man, I'm still here. I still want to be part of things. I'm saying to the manager, if I'm the manager, I'm saying to these guys, listen, I'm giving you an opportunity now in big games to start. Show me what you got. Show me what you got, and we can work with that.
So this is the 11 then that, because Turkish and I have agreed, that will be the one that gets the most votes. So we want to see David Raya in goal with White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu, same back four and goalkeeper. Partey restored to the 11 with Ødegaard and Rice playing the same roles they played against Bayern. Jesus out on the right, so Saka can get a rest. Trossard in the false 9, where in my opinion he simply played his best football for Arsenal, and Martinelli out on the left. Still some pace, still plenty of technicians, but an 11 good enough to beat Wolves in my opinion. But of course, you never know. They're a good side, and the form we're in, especially this time of year, never looks good. But Arsenal, they just can't afford to drop points. They cannot afford it. It would set such a terrible precedent and run. Where we just need to keep up with Man City, stay 2 points behind, and hope for that slip. And hopefully we can pounce, take them up. We've got a difficult run in ourselves, but who knows? Like, you just never know. Football's a weird sport. So I think we're going to win 2-0. Turkish?
3-1.
Yeah, I think 2-0 by 2 clear goals. Yeah, I do think that there will be a backlash, a positive backlash, and I'm hoping it will come this weekend. And after the game Saturday night, we'll be sitting here thinking, you know what, they showed up, they showed out, and it gives us optimism going forward. Because let's face it, if we do drop points this weekend, I think even the most optimistic of us Arsenal fans will say that's it, done.
Yeah, all right. So there you go, Arsenal. That's the task. Go win at Wolves. Remind everyone you can get those 3 points on the board. It's funny. It's 3 disappointing games. It feels like 2 competitions have finished for us, but it's only the 1 defeat. So you can go make it, what would that be, 11 wins, a draw, and a defeat in 13 Premier League. Like, just respond, bounce back. We can beat Wolves. Very interested to see what Arteta goes with as the 11. We'll, of course, discuss that on the Starting 11 show before kickoff, which is a Saturday evening game. We'll be keeping you up to date with everything here on AFTV. And, of course, go check out Box to Box if you want to learn more about our opponents this weekend. Everyone, big thanks. Catch you very soon.